All right, we are back from the break here on the CPL Poker Podcast, episode 125, and that music means it's time for the CPL Hand of the Week. And a special welcome to those of you that are watching the Hand of the Week on YouTube. We hope to do more posts of our Hand of the Week from our podcast on YouTube. And if you are watching us on YouTube, please check out our blog at cplpokerpodcast.com. All right, Phil, we've got 10 cent, 25 cent cash game, no limit hold'em.
Looks like we're playing five-handed.
We're playing five-handed, and we are in the small blind. And the hero, or Rock Lobster, looks down at pocket eights, 8 of spades, 8 of diamonds.
And we've got about $25 for our chip stack.
Somewhere around there, yes. And the pot or the chip stacks across the table range anywhere from $25 to $37.
All right. So we're right in there.
All right. So let's roll through this and see what kind of action we've got. Start with Under the Gun. Under the Gun folds, and then seat 4 folds. The button folds, and so it's about all the blinds, and it's to us, the hero, Rock Lobster, in the small blind. What do you do?
Well, we've got a pocket pair. It's battle of the blinds here. I would bump it up.
Okay.
Probably a standard, depending on the table play, what kind of read you have on people, I might go 50 cents, 75 cents. Okay. If it's more of an aggressive table, you could go more. A lot of times, 5 times the big blind is a sort of a standard sort of opening, so no more than $1.25, but that would probably be a little rich for me.
Right.
Probably more in the 60 to 75 cent range.
Okay. 60 to 70 cents. All right, let's see what Rock Lobster does. Rock Lobster raises to 75 cents.
Raises 75.
Raises 75 to a total of 80.
85. So a little heavier, but that seems reasonable.
I don't think that's too bad.
No.
All right, well, let's see what the big blind does. Big blind calls. And we're to the flop of 5 of diamonds, 7 of clubs, 3 of clubs. Pot at $1.70.
Oh, $1.70 in the pot. We've got $24.25 left behind. Our villain here's got a little over $27 left, so he's got us out-chipped a bit. Boy, it's a wet flop. The 3, 5, and 7 very connected there. A couple of clubs. He smooth called on the pre-flop action,
right? Which
doesn't necessarily tell us a whole lot. For me, it would be important to know what kind of read I have on my opponent.
Right.
Is he a blind defender? Is he just defend his blinds and call with any cards?
Right.
Or is he a little tighter, and would he be willing to not do that so often, and is willing to let garbage hands like 9-2 offsuit go?
Sure.
So it would be nice to know that about him. If I don't know anything, I'm just going to assume he's probably a blind defender, and just wants he's got position for the rest of the hand here over us, and right. That he may just be calling to see the flop and then try to see what can happen after that, try to outplay us after the flop. So, but we do have that flop of 3, 5, and 7. We do have the overpair. I'm guessing he's blind defending. If I don't know anything about him, that'll be my default. And I'm going to throw out probably a bet here to see where I'm at, get some more information, maybe even take down the pot if I can, or if he's got total garbage and wants to let it go. But I'm going to go in about a $1.25 range. The pot's $1.70. I'm going to go about $1.25. I want to try to get some information if I can.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see what Rock Lobster, our hero, does on the flop action. Bets $1. Little lighter than your $1.25.
Little light, but right in that range, I think. It might still get us some information. We'll see what... I expect the big blind to smooth call.
Okay. Let's move on to the villain. And the villain raises to $2.
Yeah. My first instinct here is that he's on a flush draw. And just trying to slow us down. as I'd said before, it's a wet flop. It's very coordinated. There's the flush out there, the gut shot possibility. He could even be on a gut shot straight draw or something like that. Yeah, I would want to 3-bet here, I think. It'd probably go up to about $4.
So you're going to go over the top right now, thinking he's on a draw?
I'm defaulting to a flush draw as the most likely probability, and I want to get some more reads here to see what's going on, and maybe get him go to 4. It's going to be another 2 to him. If he comes over the top on me, then I can make a decision as to maybe let it go if I think I'm crushed or something. If he smooth calls, I can feel a little more confident that I'm ahead. But I need to 3-bet in order to find that out.
Okay. All right, a situation where Phil 3-bets. This is exciting.
This
okay.
one I would.
Let's see what Rock Lobster does. Got a bet and a raise in front of us. And Rock Lobster, smooth calls.
Ooh, smooth calls the 2. To me, a dangerous play because I don't have any information. We're gonna have to see what the turn is, but really with that board, any card that comes out is bad. The ace is an overcard. 2, 4, 6, those all help towards completing or helping to complete gut shot straight draws if he's some weird blind defender and is willing to play any 2 cards.
Right.
Anything 9 or higher or overcards to us. I don't like the smooth call.
Okay. You would rather fold?
No, I would have 3-bet.
fold?
I would have 3-bet.
3-bet.
No, I would have gone to 4.
All day long.
I would have gone to 4 to see where I'm at. This, it's a cash game too, and even though he's got us out chipped by, $3 or something like that, we can reload.
Right.
Particularly if we think we've got some sort of edge against any of the players at the game or the game as a whole.
Okay. All right. So disagree with Rock Lobster on the smooth call. Let's go to the turn. Turn brings a 7 of hearts.
Wow, well, this might be the one card that's good for us, because it doesn't complete that flush draw, 7 of hearts, doesn't complete the club draw, and it doesn't complete a gut shot straight draw in any way.
And it's not an overcard.
And it's not an overcard, exactly. So it might be the one card that's good for us. But we don't know for sure. I mean, maybe he's got a 7. Maybe he connected and has, ace 7 or something, and he wanted to raise the flop there. We don't know that. I'm still guessing he's probably on a flush draw. And if that's the case, I want to bet enough to make it a bad decision for him to do so. And I think something like in the 425 range, which would bring the pot up to 925. He'd have to bet 4 or call 425 into a pot of 925. I think that's a
995.
995. I'm sorry. I think it's a bad call for him to make mathematically if he's on a flush draw. So I think I would go 425 on this one. And if he does come over the top on us, I think really the only thing he can do at that point would be to probably shove on us. We can fold. We can let it go.
Okay.
I can just assume that, look, I'm beat here. He's got something that maybe he's got that 7.
Got that 7.
I can let it go. And even if he comes into $10, $11, I can still probably let it go.
Okay.
And if he smooth calls, I'm going to feel a lot better about my 8s and maybe even be able to bet the river with confidence.
Okay, so you're recommending a bet of 4 1/4.
I think 4 1/4 is a good bet size here.
Okay. All right, let's see what the hero Rock Lobster does. Checks.
Yeah. All right, a thought just crossed my mind. I mean, you could exercise what's called pot control. The idea being that I'm more than willing to put up 425.
Right.
So if I check here, the villain, if he freaks on us and throws in $15 or all in or something.
Yeah, then you can let it go.
That's well over the pot of 570. I can let it go. More likely though, he's going to come back with something in that 425 range. $4 to $6.
Right.
Maybe a slight overbet.
Right.
And then I can make a decision to go ahead and smooth call that if I want to. Sort of exercise the pot control, keep the pot a little bit smaller so I'm not putting all my chips in yet.
Okay.
I would prefer to lead out though.
Okay. Right, obviously. All right, well, let's see what the villain does to that check. The pot is at 570. And the villain bets 3 1/4. Pot is now at 895.
And 3 1/4 is actually a little less than the 425 I was going to bet.
Yeah.
I think the way this is played out, I mean, I've committed myself to check calling the rest of the way, it seems like. So I think I would just.
The smooth call?
The way it's playing out, I think I would just smooth call here and probably try to. The way it's playing out, check call the rest of the way.
Okay. All right, well, let's see if what Rock Lobster does with this bet of 3 1/4. And does smooth call. So now we have a pot at 1220, and we're going to the river. And the river brings a 4 of clubs.
It's a terrible card. It's a terrible card for us. It's a club.
There's the card we were expecting on the turn.
It's a club, so it completes a flush draw if he's on the flush draw. And if it's a gut shot, it fills up a gut shot if he's got a 6. Terrible card for us here. I gotta check. I mean, I don't see any other thing to do.
Well, you mentioned that you were going to end up check calling the rest of the
Well,
hand
I
anyway.
think we've sort of put ourselves into that scenario. The board is just, it's too coordinated, too dangerous, and with a pot of 1220, I think you've got to put at least 7 out there to make it look like a reasonable bet that has some fold equity behind it. I'm not even sure if shoving all in as an opponent, I don't know if you might read that as weakness. So I think you got to check here.
All right. Let's see what Rock Lobster does on the river. Checks.
I think he committed himself to this frame, and I don't know. I'm expecting something big to come out of the big blind, and then we can fold.
Okay. Let's see what happens with the villain. Villain checks.
All right. He's afraid of the flush.
Yeah.
So maybe we're good. Or I don't know. He could have a 7. He could have a 7, and the flush is scaring him, and he just doesn't want to throw any more chips out.
We still may be toast.
We still may be toast. Or he may, maybe he's got ace king.
He doesn't have the flush.
No, I don't think he's got the flush at all. But maybe he's got an ace king or an ace jack or big ace, and he just didn't, big hand like that, and he just didn't hit the flush, so he doesn't want to bet anymore.
All right, let's go to the showdown. Pot of 1220, and the villain shows King of Diamonds, 10 of clubs.
Not quite as big a hand as I would have thought.
Exactly.
But we take it down.
That's it. A win for us. And that is the hand of the week. Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. And I think, if he had bet out on the river, I certainly would have folded.
Yeah?
Depending on the bet. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's a
$4 bet or something like that.
Yeah, if it's
1220, you're probably calling that.
If it's a quarter, I'm calling.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
That
okay.
kind of thing.
Right.
$1.50, $2, $4. But I don't know if maybe if we'd 3-bet that flop like I wanted to, maybe that would have changed the whole dynamics of this hand.
Yeah, with the king 10.
King 10, maybe we could have taken it down and not had to,
Right at the flop.
not had to have that angst and that worry and a headache now from having to think through that hand.
Right.
Because we would have just taken it down.
All right. Okay, and that's this week's CPL Poker Podcast, episode 125, Hand of the Week. Thanks so much, Phil.
Thank you.